Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the REC podcast, brought to you by REC Comics and Collectibles. I'm your host, Roman Chavez, and with me, as always,
Erik Icarus.
Eric.
Yeah.
We spend time putting shows together.
Yeah, we do.
You know, we plan some things, or at least just plan some topics, and then we execute.
You know, we're like the Kirby Enthusiasm of podcasts. We have an idea, and then we just go, we improv everything.
Guys, we just want to talk about it, you know?
We just talk.
And we think about things sometimes, like at least topics, you know, a few weeks in advance, this and that. Which, by the way, we're going to have a lot of cool stuff coming up in October.
Oh, yeah.
Just stay tuned for that. But today was both a gift and a knife in the back in terms of topics to talk about.
For sure.
We've got a couple things we want to touch on. One of them is definitely sounds like Spider-Man and rhymes with Sony and Disney suck because they can't get stuff worked out. But we'll come back to that.
Yes.
Bond 25.
Yeah.
The 25th installment of the Bond franchise.
I didn't realize that's how many they were on.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
The MCU is only 2 behind, so 2 behind in 10 years.
That's craziness.
But it has a title.
Yeah, what is it?
No Time to Die.
That's stupid.
That's stupid?
Yeah, I hate it.
I mean, I feel like it makes sense.
Why is that?
You know, die another day. Never say never again. Living Daylights. Octopussy.
Yeah.
I watched that movie and I was very disappointed. Okay.
Yeah, it didn't
even have one. So yes, No Time to Die. I'm just gonna say I think it fits what James Bond does, what it do, and I think that the title works. Don't know what the movie's about, don't know any of that stuff, but it sounds like a James Bond title to me. What don't you like about it, other than, I guess, the structure of it, maybe?
Yes, I just think it's, oh man, it just didn't hit my ear very well.
Yeah.
No Time to Die. That's how, when I said it in my head, I ain't got time for that.
Oh,
sorry,
God.
Kids. I got no time to die, no time to bleed.
The world never dies, or something?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like it. I'm assuming this is Daniel Craig's
last one? It's supposed to be, yeah. Well, the last one was supposed to be his last one, but then I think he was like, "Oh, nobody's calling me to
do stuff." So.
Yeah,
I better take another Bond. Well, I initially thought there was supposed to be a female Bond. Are they trying to introduce a female Bond?
She's going to be in this, and it sounds, just what we loosely know about it, that the 007 thing is a title, such there could be other 007. So there's one. It's right now. It sounds like he's like in retirement,
right?
And then they're just gonna bring him back to save the world.
Sure,
but somebody's wearing his shoes.
Yeah, okay, and it's a female.
Yeah.
I think they should have saved. I think they should have called it No Time to Bleed. You know what I'm getting at?
I think we all do.
She hasn't got time for that.
Yeah,
She's too busy, man.
Saving the world. Yeah,
I got time to bleed.
Yeah, gotcha. I think you figured out the first female Bond title.
Exactly.
Right there. You guys heard it here first in the REC podcast.
I'm gifting that to you.
Yeah. Take that. You run with it, but not too much. All right.
Can't run too much on it. No bike riding.
Yeah. No swimming. Whatever. All right. Anyway. Sharks. They'll get you. So you don't like it. I like it. It just is.
I think it's gonna rock. Every Daniel Craig movie I've loved.
I didn't like Quantum of Solace.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
I didn't care for it.
Okay. Fair enough.
Except that one scene where they're at the orchestra or the concert or whatever, and then he I can't remember. He's listening in on the bad guys, and he says something to see which ones leave. Oh, so I thought that was a really cool scene.
Cool. I liked them all, especially Casino Royale.
Casino Royale is my favorite of that.
Me too.
Yeah.
That opening parkour scene, the torture scene.
Yeah.
It's brutal, man.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be all right. And if it's his last one, I hope it goes out with a bang. I'm excited.
In other news, we talked about this in the last episode, the Keanu-sance.
Yes.
More of the Keanu-sance is happening. I did not make up that word. I saw it online, guys. Matrix 4.
Yeah.
It's happening.
It's what I've heard. It's the rumor.
Yeah. Keanu Reeves is attached, and so is Carrie-Anne Moss.
Cool.
Which is weird because
but no Larry Fishburne?
Lawrence Fishburne?
His friends call him Larry.
Do you know him?
No.
All right, then
I feel like I do.
I feel like I don't. I feel like
In Boys in the Hood, he was like my surrogate dad.
oh, nice,
You know what I mean?
nice. Yeah, they're gonna do a fourth Matrix.
Are the Wachowski still going to put this stank on it? Or are we
I
actually going
don't
to get a good
think
director
so.
this
I
time?
think we're gonna get somebody else. I didn't see that particularly,
Yeah.
but Warner Brothers had said before that they were going to take it with a new direction.
Good.
Yeah, new. Yeah.
Good. I mean, having rewatched those pretty recently, speaking of movies we kind of revisit,
Yeah.
the first one still holds up.
First one is so good,
good.
and I like Reloaded.
Reloaded isn't bad. It's just it's the middle to the letdown. It's the movie before the letdown. I think that's why it's left a bad taste in my mouth. It's got some cool fighting. I mean, the highway chase is phenomenal.
It's excellent. Excellent.
And you know,
Keanu fighting them Neo fighting them in that like staircase.
yeah,
Like that's such a cool
it's
scene.
pretty cool.
Those weird twin things.
Yeah, ghosts. Yeah,
the albinos.
the albinos.
What? Just off the top of your head.
Yeah.
What do you think? Give me a 2-minute pitch on what this movie's going to be. What do you think it's going to be about?
Okay, well, if you really get down to it, and this, you just threw this at me, so, the whole Matrix trilogy is it's sort of a what's the word I'm looking for?
Christ allegory?
Yes, thank you. And so he's gone, but so he would rise again, right? So that would make sense.
Yeah.
And I think they can finally introduce the plot that we all thought was going to happen in Revolutions was that they were in a matrix inside the matrix. So I think we all thought that, right? That's why he was able to stop the Sentinel, see blind.
Dude, I never even thought about that.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I could have sworn you and AJ talked about that.
We might have, but we talked about
that was a long
lot
time
of
ago.
things.
That was a long time ago. And
Oh yeah, that would make total sense. That if it was like an Inception type Matrix,
Sure.
I've never heard that theory.
Yeah, that would be
which
like
is
a backup
weird.
program to that, So
Yeah.
I'm thinking that he's resurrected and they're trying to get into the actual real world. I'm thinking that's he's risen again and that's his purpose for coming back is to get into the actual world. And I could see as long as I wouldn't mind if the Wachowskis were a consultant on it. I mean that's their baby. I get it. I don't know who we get to direct, but I think this has potential to be very awesome. If they could pull from the Animatrix, why not?
Yeah.
Lots of cool little stuff in there, man. But I'm on board with it, man. I love me some Keanu, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, give me all the Keanu I can get.
Yeah.
I think that's an interesting theory, and I've never heard that personally, but it makes total sense as you said it. I would like it to be. There was I think it was called Enter the Matrix. It was a video game.
Oh, okay.
And the video game was for intents and purposes a Matrix 4. It was a sequel to Revolutions.
Oh wow, okay.
And I never played it, but I remember the trailer for it because I think everybody who was in the movie voiced
cool.
did their characters.
Yeah, that's right.
And like the Morpheus is like, why won't they give us his body back? And I was always like, interesting. Like, why would they keep it?
Yeah.
So like, it would be interesting if they were like built a story off of that to where like they have the program.
Yeah.
And like, have they ever been able to get the body of the one after he's been awoken?
Right.
He destroyed Smith. But what does that mean? Because he thought he destroyed Smith before.
Sure.
So he would be code again, and then I think that would fuel into your Matrix inside the Matrix
there
thing.
You go.
That, this is the jump drive. This body is the jump drive to the real world. Or
For sure. Or like maybe Smith infects the actual Matrix, like the
Oh,
real
yeah.
one, and they have to bring Neo in to the machine's like, hey, it's a virus, he's killing us, we need the man, the one to come in and clean up.
The Neo.
The Neo. We need Norton security.
I wonder how well it'll do. Because I feel like pretty much everybody was disappointed with the Matrix trilogy.
But enough time has passed,
Yes.
and we are in the Keanu-sance.
We are in the Keanu-sance,
So it's got those two things going.
Yeah.
And as long as the Wachowskis aren't directing, I believe, and writing, I think we're going to be okay. And I think people will go watch it. I meant when you texted me that I was at work.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, they're doing this. And everyone I mentioned that to was on board with it.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, yeah. And like we're both on board with it.
For sure.
And we both definitely did not like Revolutions.
Was terrible.
So
yeah.
okay.
I didn't even get around to seeing it in the theater.
Oh, wow.
You had previewed it, or watched it rather, and you were like, hey, don't watch this.
Yeah, it was bad.
You're like, this sucks. You
Yeah.
know? So
But if I watch 1 and 2, I always watch 3.
you have to.
I always
You
watch
have
3.
to, man.
Yeah, it's like taking the sip of OJ after Listerine, you know? Like it's like, man, you guys left me fresh, and then I went and did
It made me
this,
sour,
and
man.
then I betrayed myself. All right, well, I think we'll have to have a Matrix episode sooner than later.
Oh, for sure.
And we'll have to have a friend of the show, Jordan, on board because he really enjoys it.
Matrix fan?
Yeah, I think he likes 3, but like it's definitely the worst one to him.
Sure.
But he really enjoys
There's a
the
lot of
Matrix
cool.
films.
There's a lot of interesting philosophy. I can see him digging it.
Totally,
Yeah,
totally.
absolutely.
Ergo, be some food.
Ergo, baby. Ergo.
Accordingly.
What was that guy's name?
The architect.
Architect.
Yeah, I would just like to see more of Seraph. He was the guy who was protecting the Oracle. Neo fights him in that like tea house.
Yeah, he's the Asian dude.
Yeah, he's like, you don't know someone until you fight them.
It's
I was gonna go
interesting.
into a full, very racist Asian voice, but I go ahead and I just like stopped.
But you're
I
Asian.
am, but you can't tell that with this, so or with the way I look. So you know. But I was gonna go hard for it, guys. I want you to know that I should actually like I'm in a lot of physical pain because I like fought it, but I think a little came out in the beginning.
You did a little bit. A little bit.
And I was making hand gestures that are not PC. Okay.
But you know martial arts.
Yeah, I know, but you can't do it in this world. You cannot do it in this world. Even on a podcast, you can't even see me. I didn't have to admit any of that. I felt me tooed into that. Okay, that you were gonna tell somebody that I was this way.
I'm just like, again, I don't know, man. Let's see what happens. Only time will tell with this.
No.
I mean, let's see if it even happens. I mean, yeah, they're greenlighting it, but let's see who's doing the script and who's directing.
Okay.
Is Warner Brothers funding this? I'm assuming.
Yes. Oh yeah. They need to. They need it. You know.
Man.
They need it, but
They're
it's like,
broke.
what are you guys gonna do?
Yeah.
You know, what are you guys gonna do? Yeah, because they're sitting on a potential gold mine in all of their DC properties and can't pull it together. Just bring it together, guys.
Come
Just
on.
chill out.
Jeez.
So okay, if you had to,
Yes.
if you could get, we'll put Matrix in there. Pick one of these 3 that you want. Matrix 4,
Yeah.
Indiana Jones 5,
Yeah.
or Lethal Weapon 5.
Lethal Weapon 5.
Lethal Weapon 5 is the one you would want the most
yeah.
out of those
yeah.
3? Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Glover and Gibson, they're really old.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they can't be in the mentor role.
Yeah.
Or even, I mean, Gibson still looks okay.
Yeah.
Glover is, he don't look good.
No, never looked good. It's just he finally looks too old for this shit, you
Yeah.
know? So, like, but he still looks good. I mean, he was only... and your update on my Lethal Weapon
Yes.
binge. I am halfway through Lethal Weapon 1.
All right.
And and then I'll be done. So I should
Nice.
finish it tonight.
Yeah.
That's why Lethal Weapon's in there, because I would love a Lethal Weapon
Oh, yeah.
5.
And it's been talked about.
Yeah, it has been.
And so has Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
But, I would be really on board for that. Then bring in some new kids to, head up the,
You don't want Butters to be back? You want Chris Rock to take on the mantle?
I'm sure he would love to go
Oh,
back,
yeah.
too.
But he's old too now.
He is a little old, but he doesn't look too bad.
He doesn't look bad.
No,
he doesn't
I
look
just,
bad.
but I just don't take him as an action star.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not
Come on,
happening.
come on,
Did
Rob.
you ever watch that show with Damon Wayans
I did,
Jr. Damon
I
Wayans
did.
and
The Australian guy.
yeah. Then they ended up like booting him and
Oh, really?
yeah, they like switched him like because I guess he was like super like a jerk on set.
Really?
Yeah, like slapping people and stuff. And like so they fired him and they like got I think it was Sean William Scott. And he was like that dude's brother or old partner or something.
No.
And then Damon Wayans was like, man, like for real, he was like, I'm too old for this shit. And it's in reference to the movies, guys. Chill out. And then Damon Wayans just like, I'm kind of done making the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
he thought he really wanted to, and it was just like grueling film schedule. That's what I heard. I don't know if that to be true.
But could just be like he saw what was happening. He's like, this sucks.
Yeah, he saw the writing.
Yeah.
Like, I like Sean William Scott, but I don't know if he's gonna save this this turd.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, there's potential there, and there's potential for indie.
And I think I agree with you though. I think I agree with you. If of those 3,
Oh yeah,
I would definitely.
because that one didn't end on a failure.
No.
The other 2 did.
Yeah.
Those other 2 franchises.
That's
bombed.
true. That's interesting.
And this
yeah.
one people would want.
Because there's not a bad Lethal Weapon.
No.
There's not.
There's
they're
one
all 4
so-so
good.
one.
Yeah. And it's still pretty good.
Pretty good.
Jack Travis, baby. God!
The roughest, toughest cop ever. He
Ever.
could beat a confession out of anyone.
Out of any old lady he can get his hands on, okay? Oh, man. You know that was the guy who was in Mask of Zorro as, like...
Yes.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
it's so weird.
That
It's
is kind of
so
strange.
weird. De La Vega.
Speaking of which, I wouldn't mind another one of those.
Really? Do you remember
The first one
the second one?
Okay, the second one is
Second
awful.
one's bad.
You're right,
Second one's
That's
bad.
why we need a third one. Redemption. Zorro, Redemption.
Ah, man.
There we go. But, I mean, the first one, watching it and not expecting anything from it and being super impressed with it. Action was good, comedy was good, Antonio was great. Selma Hayek.
Selma Hayek. Still just like a dime.
Oh.
Just she's 20 cents, baby. She's 20 cents. All right. She's still just out there. And yeah, I mean, who didn't like her? But you know what?
What's up?
We're confusing it with Desperado because it was
Who am I thinking of?
It
was Selma Hayek.
It's not Selma Hayek. It's Michael Douglas's wife. Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I get them mixed up. They're both hot.
Yeah, they are. But Selma still got it. And not that Catherine Zeta-Jones isn't have. She looks great, but like.
Well, she gave Michael Douglas throat cancer.
That's what he claimed. And it's like, oh yeah? I thought you were the guy who like invented sexual addiction. Maybe it was all that other hood rat stuff you were doing.
Right? Come on.
But we digress. But yeah, I could do another Desperado film too then, for that matter. Did you like Once Upon a Time in Mexico?
I did.
For
what
too.
it was.
I did too.
And
I didn't love it, but I did like it. Desperado's still the best of that trilogy.
Yeah, for sure. And no, I really did. Yeah, because El Mariachi, I guess, is canon, right?
It is canon, yeah.
It's good for a student film.
Totally.
I mean, for what they had to work with, it's great. But yeah,
but Antonio Banderas. Yeah. I just want to hear that guy, that voice, smooth like butter. All right.
Yeah, he still has it, even in Expendables 3.
Yeah.
He still had it. Hitting on Ronda Rousey.
Oh Jesus! I didn't watch any of the other Expendables.
Oh, bummer.
I might have watched part 2 a little bit, and I was like, all right, this is ruining the first one. Guys, we're really just like delaying the inevitable.
We're kind of bummed here.
Yeah.
We're really like legit upset, man.
So everybody, you'll see it in the show title most likely, but
yeah.
Man, it sounds like Disney and Sony couldn't come to an agreement on keeping Spider-Man going. So right now, Far From Home is the last MCU appearance of Peter Parker Spider-Man.
Yeah, Tom Holland.
Dude, that sucks.
Yeah,
I can't articulate it in any other way.
I can't either, man. You texted me that, and I just was like, I was at work.
Yeah.
And I like kind of put down what I was doing.
You had to compose yourself?
I had to compose myself, bro. Because I mean that I don't know. I mean that's okay. You need to explain to me what you need to explain to them what you explained to me when I got here.
Okay.
So okay.
Okay. I'm not gonna have all the numbers right, guys.
Okay. Right.
The numbers don't matter as much.
It doesn't.
But the deal with Sony and Disney was just ridiculously ludicrous for Sony. Basically, Marvel got very little off the sales of these movies. I think they got something super low. It's like 5 or 15% from Homecoming and Far From Home, but they had to finance and produce these movies.
Yes.
And then Sony got either 85 or 95% of the profits.
Yeah.
Which those who are keeping count, kids, Spider-Man Far From Home is over $1 billion. And then in turn, Disney was allowed to then use Peter Parker, Spider-Man in Civil War and 2 Avengers movies, to which my understanding is that Sony got a piece of those grosses.
Yes.
It's not crazy high, but it's like, a percent of $1 billion or of $2 billion.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, because it would be close to $5 billion because Endgame made 2.7, Infinity War made like 1.7 or something like that.
Right.
And then, or no, did it also make $2 billion?
it
also made $2 billion.
Yeah.
And then Civil War made $1 billion.
Right.
So I mean, they're just racking in money.
Yeah.
So we knew that the contract was for 5 films, 5 appearances.
5 appearances.
And with the Far From Home, that was the last appearance.
Right.
That Peter Parker, Spider-Man could be in the franchise. So they're trying to rework a deal. Sounds like Marvel was like, hey, what if we go 50-50 on the production costs, and then we get 20%. And Sony was like, nope.
Yep.
And they didn't even counter.
Nope.
They did say we can keep the deal the same.
Yeah.
And Disney did not want to do
And
that.
they're like, no.
And here we are with a very emotional, interwoven character into the recent MCU universe. And now he's gone.
Yeah. And leaving his character on the cliffhanger of all cliffhangers.
Yeah. Spoilers, guys, for Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Yeah.
Go for it.
He's outed. He's outed as Peter Parker. They're led to believe that he murdered Mysterio.
Yeah.
So not only is Peter Parker not only is Spider-Man wanted for murder, but so is Peter Parker.
Yeah.
So I felt like we were talking a little bit before we got here. It was just I felt like Marvel was really swinging for the fences to keep him such an integral part of this Phase 4.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're gonna end it here like this. Gonna keep him wanting more because that's what Marvel is the best at. Yeah. And I think they were trying to call Sony's bluff.
Yeah, I think they were gonna be like, hey, we're gonna make him so integral that you are going to really want to work out this deal.
You're gonna want to be in on this. And yeah, Sony is. Come on, it's
they're playing hardball, man.
They are.
I do think that there's a world in which they get this worked out.
Sure.
And guys, I'm not the person to do this, but if anybody's listening that is, or you know somebody,
yeah,
let's get a petition going. I'll
Yes.
sign it. I'll sign it. Like, this is such a bummer, and it's going to be okay for the MCU because
it's the MCU.
It's the MCU, and Tony is dead.
Yeah.
So you can kind of sidestep that a bit. You can, somebody can say it in passing. Peter
went underground.
Yeah, or he had to.
He's underground.
Yeah. We got to keep him safe.
Yeah.
Fury's keeping him someplace.
Keeping him stashed.
Which could be interesting.
Fine.
That could be interesting.
That could be fine.
But
we don't want that.
Yeah.
And you're right. I think we do need to get a petition going to boycott Sony.
Yeah.
If they're going to do their own Spider-Verse, I'm not going to be a part of it.
Yeah.
You know who loses? We do.
Yeah.
We all lose. Not Marvel, not Disney, not Sony.
Yeah.
Nobody, none of them
viewers.
lose, but we do.
Yeah.
And that's the sad fact.
Yeah.
And just because Sony is being uber greedy,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like they're kind of like Thanos, or they're talking to. They're like, you can't accept all your failings. So where did it lead you? Right back to me.
Yeah. It was definitely a gut punch when I read it too. Yeah, I almost had to pull over on the side of the road.
I don't blame you.
One of those moments.
For sure.
I know it sounds ridiculous, but
no,
like
this is
Far From Home was so good.
It was.
He was so good in Infinity War.
It was.
When
we saw him in Civil War.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, we're in good hands.
Yeah. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
And I think we need a Spider-Man in this world, in this MCU. I don't know what avenue we can take, though. Can the MCU / Disney use Miles Morales?
I don't think so.
Can they use Jessica?
They might be able to use Jessica Drew, but I'd have to look into that. I don't know where the log comes on that. I feel like it's
I
gotta
can
be
see it working if we could get another Spider character, not one made up for the movie, but something from the comic book. And I think it would work.
Yeah.
If we could get Miles, I think we'd be fine.
I think we would be too, and I want to, any of these sites that have research teams.
Yeah.
It's like there's got to be some type of loophole because I can't imagine that the deal with Sony initially was like for Spider-Man and any other Spider-Man thing that gets created after this day, because how could you do that?
Right.
How could you know?
For sure.
So, I don't know. It would be, I don't know. I just wish they were willing to play ball with each other. And it's honestly, it sounds like Marvel's proposal was very fair.
Very fair.
Very fair.
They're the ones that found the talent.
Yeah.
Wrote the scripts.
Yeah.
Funded this whole thing.
Yep.
And all Sony had to do was kick their feet up.
Yeah.
And watch the money roll in and put their in association with credited on the movie.
Yeah.
And it's not like they were losing.
Yeah.
And to think that they are just so out there that they are going to build their own franchise. I think that's what they're thinking. They're like, oh, our Venom movie did great.
Yeah.
And we're going to bring in our own Peter Parker. But the thing is, Marvel casted Tom Holland, who was the best.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah.
He nailed it. I wanted to see where his character was going to go for his senior year of high school.
So, apparently,
Yes.
Sony has John Watts and Tom Holland under contract for 2 more Spider-Man movies.
Oh, they do.
So, they could make their 2 they could finish their 2 Spider-Man movies and finish their universe. They don't have, and they could do the Sinister Six. They can do Carnage. They can actually do.
Ooh, that's dirty.
It is super
all
dirty.
that work, Marvel, to build it. Ooh,
Yep.
ooh.
Yep.
So we would get a conclusion.
We could get some type of conclusion to the story.
That's just.
I would love for Tom Holland and John Watts to take a stand, but they're young and they could both find work, but it would be.
He would be blacklisted.
Probably there would be some, but I mean they would always have jobs at. They should always have jobs at Marvel.
Oh, you think so?
Something, you know.
For sure.
But
yeah, they don't have quite the clout as an RDJ.
Yeah,
do this
totally.
to RDJ. He's like, he stands up.
Yeah,
nothing's happening.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
Tom Holland is not quite there, and John Watts is not the Russos.
No, exactly.
Or Whedon.
Yeah.
You know.
So yeah, it's precarious for the fans. I'm super bummed about it. I really am, because we've just been getting such good product, and like I've said numerous times on the show, Spider-Man, in my opinion, is the greatest superhero,
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
and he's just not going to be in the right hands. I don't think. So
Sony had 2 tries.
Yes, and if Venom is any indication of their top product, we're boned. We're boned again.
We are.
And then, but the thing is that Sony does so much other stuff. Like they don't need, like they're not Fox, where they need entertainment stuff. Sony is products.
Yes.
Tech and all that. So like, yeah, they don't need to have the most successful film division
For sure.
And again, their crappy Venom movie made $870 million.
I think it did because it piggybacked off of Homecoming.
There were people I talked to that were like, I heard that Spider-Man was supposed to be in this.
Boom.
And they went and watched it thinking that Spider-Man was, because there was that rumor that Tom Holland might be in it.
Right.
As just like Peter Parker doing something.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's a bummer. It's just a...
That movie was just okay.
Which one?
Venom.
I didn't like it at all.
Like, it was just... bleh.
Yeah. It was bad. I won't be watching a number 2 unless people I respect opinions. I mean, we'll watch it for the show, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm not gonna say
We're gonna
some BS.
begrudgingly watch it and probably trash it.
I might not watch it opening weekend.
No,
you know.
I'll get to it when I get to it.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just terrible because it really seemed like they were, working 2 different colors of Play-Doh together. Like, you can't pull the colors apart, guys. They're there. And
I wish that Disney, Marvel, whatever, would have just made an offer to Sony. Say, hey, listen, we're just going to buy him from you.
Oh, well, I'm sure that they did.
Money.
No, I'm sure they did. And Sony's like, no. No, we're good. We'll just keep him.
I bet you they said, we will give you $1 billion to buy out that contract.
I would be shocked if they went that hard. Since they've just spent so much billions in the last couple of years.
They've made so
I know.
much. Not just movies. We're talking...
I think I saw just on the film count, we're over $28 billion that they
Profit
made.
Or spend?
Made, gross, I guess.
Gross,
I guess gross, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, like $28 billion.
That's friggin' insane, dude.
Yeah, there's been nothing like it. Kevin Feige himself deserves, like, an Oscar.
Sure.
For, like, being a filmmaker. And apparently, for a couple of the sites that I was reading, they were saying that Kevin Feige's pretty broken up about it.
Yeah,
and Spider-Man's like his favorite character.
It's his favorite, yeah.
So, yeah. It's like, man,
I'm telling you, I posted that. I can see Tom Holland like, please, sir, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Sir, please.
Oh, man. Yeah. It's not good. I need Robert Downey Jr. if you're listening.
Do something, man.
I need you to say, do some... Because is Sherlock Holmes on? Oh, it's not. I think it's Warner Brothers.
That is Warner Brothers.
I was gonna say, man, if it's Sony,
you can play some hardball with them.
Like, hey guys, I'll make 10 Sherlock Holmes movies if
I don't think he'd go that far out of the limb.
No way.
I mean, he loves Marvel.
He got his nut.
He
He's
loves
good.
Spidey, and it was mutually beneficial.
It was.
They saved his career, and he put butts in seats.
I'm like trying to think who would have been that role, if it wasn't Peter Parker. Who would they have just tried to shoehorn Riri Williams in there earlier?
Sure. Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
And do we just go that way now?
I think
Or
that's what we're going to do.
Or we just transfer? Oh, that'd be cool because I own a ton of first appearance of Riri Williams. But yeah, if we just shifted our focus to a teenage black girl.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I think it would be fine. They have to find a logical reason for her to have spider powers.
Or they just use her as just like the surrogate protege, but I guess we would have needed that.
Yeah, they just need to give her the powers, and then they say, okay, Parker's in hiding.
Yeah.
And then they scout the city, and then they go, well, who else was on that class trip?
Yeah.
And then we find out, we get like a backstory of her getting bit.
Yeah. Well, that would be the Cindy Moon story. The Silk is the character's name. So yeah, you could do that too. She's Asian.
Sure.
You know?
That'd work too, man.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a way to get her in there, but it just stinks
We
because
had a good time, a good amount of time with this character to really flesh it out. One.
Yeah.
2, fall in love with it.
Yep.
And then 3, just get it taken away from you.
Yeah.
Is probably the worst part.
It's brutal. Because, like, I was digging the Happy Hogan stuff with him,
Me
too.
too.
You know?
Him playing such a good,
Because I think that pretty much means that Favs is done.
Yeah. He don't need to be there.
He doesn't need to. Yeah, I mean.
He'll get his EP credits on everything, but. Yeah, he don't need to be there.
Yeah. It sucks. He was like the surrogate Tony.
Yep.
You know, or at least our bridge.
Maybe it doesn't wait for him. That Fury could be like, hey, I need you. You were Tony's right hand, be my right hand.
I need a new Coulson.
Yeah.
But years ago, I tweeted at Favreau and Clark Gregg that I would love to see a Coulson happy buddy cop thing.
I would kill for that.
And they both retweeted it, and it was my happiest nerd moment at the time. And it sounds like it could happen. Let's do it.
I thought your happiest nerd moment was with Stan Lee.
Yeah, at the time, I tweeted that.
Oh, that was... Oh,
yeah, and then I met Stan.
Oh, no. Back in when you wrote into Toy Fair.
Oh, yeah.
That was cool.
That was a great nerd moment, too. Got a lot of nerd moments.
Yeah, you do a lot of nerd moments. It's pretty awesome. You have a lot of cool stories, man.
You gotta want it, boys and girls. You've got to want it.
I have cool stories that just don't pertain to this.
Yeah. If you want to hear raging alcoholic stories, Eric's your guy.
And they're pretty, I'm a legend.
Yeah, to some people.
Everybody's got an Eric story in this town.
Remember Rob Corddry and Hot Tub Time Machine? It's our Eric, all right? And on that note, kids, to leave you on such a just solemn note, Spider-Man, we pour one out for you as we do on this show. Kids, if you like what we're doing, please hit that subscribe button, give us a like, leave us a comment. If you want to hear us talk about something, say it in the comments. Reach out to us on Instagram at REC Comics. Slide into those DMs. Are you happy that Spider-Man's going to be pulled away from the MCU?
Yeah, because then we have to have a talk with you.
Do you think Venom is the best superhero movie ever made? We'll have to have a long conversation, kids. Eric, what did you learn today, my friend?
I hate Sony.
Oh, yeah.
I hate them.
I'm trying to think of anything that they're good
I
at.
mean, they ruined it. They had PlayStation.
Yeah. I'll never buy a PlayStation now. You hear that, Sony?
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
I wanted to get one, too, to play your Spider-Man games. It looks awesome. But I don't even care. I learned that the older I get, the more vengeful I want to be.
Yeah.
The less energy I have to actually get it out there. And that may be the circle of life, kids. The more vengeance you get, the less power you have to execute.
True, man. Everybody dies and life is so hard.
Oh, God. Hey, guys. Thanks so much for listening. We have been Roman Chavez.
Oh, still Eric Icarus.
And we will catch you next time, hopefully on a higher note. Hopefully we just open and say, hey, guys, MCU Spider-Man's back.
They worked it out.
That would be great. Thanks for listening.